is Crystal with Pineapple Papers, and it is the 5th of March. So, for today's 30 days of sketches, the exclusive sketch comes to us from Scrappy_Faith, and she's got a ton of like strips of paper, which would be great for branding strips or washi tape. You could totally do a stacked washi with this one. But I wasn't feeling that. But I like the idea of kind of that center area, right? And so I did purchase a couple of Hip Kit Club kits that were clearanced when they had their last sale. And this was one of them. And so I pulled a couple of papers I liked. Some that had that blue and gold, blue and yellow, because those are my daughter's, well, my kids' school colors. I mean, my son went there too. So lots of blue and yellow going on in our scrapbooks for years upon years. So these are two pictures of her at the homecoming parade. And you can see in the center, there's like some Polaroid spots that your photos would go in, right? So I went into my container of frames and I pulled out these two. I believe they're Heidi Swap. I think I got them on crazy clearance. And they are blue and gold and they say smile and XOXO. So that can totally be used for anything. So I go ahead and add those frames to my photos and then I just trim around them. That's how I put my photos in a frame. It's a good thing they're staying in those frames because I don't cut them very well and I'm not sure they would go anywhere else. But so I'm starting with those in the center so that I kind of know where I'm going to go. And so I am going to do layers of torn paper on the side and it's going to be vertically instead of horizontally. So I'm going to start with this straight paper. I'm going to put it on each side and I'm going to realize that I didn't leave very much of a gap for my photos to fit, which is okay because I will just go ahead and trim those down. And I'm using both sides of this floral paper. It's got the pretty floral and then it has a yellow floral on the other side. So the way I was tearing them, I didn't want any of the white core to show. So I had to be cautious of how I was tearing them, right? And so that's kind of what I'm doing right now. And I will go ahead and trim down this piece of white cardstock. It's from Walmart. It's from their paper pad. And I know when I trim it down, it's not quite 12 by 12. It's close enough, but not quite. So I will just have to make sure that everything is flush on one side and then I can trim everything off on the other side. So I'm going to start with one side and work my way to the other side. And you can see kind of here, like I wasn't sure how big to put that. So I just let it hang over and then I'll trim off the excess. So that's kind of how my thought process is working. So I will do the same thing on the other side. She did have a pattern paper in the background. I chose white cardstock. Here's where I realized that I didn't leave enough gap and I already stuck it down. So good news is I only stuck it down in one run. So it worked out just fine. And now my floral is going to overlap as well, which is fine. It doesn't bother me, but I will actually go ahead and tear it a little bit so that you can see all three patterns all the way up and all the way down. So that's what you see me doing here. I'm just kind of trimming that out and then I will get the yellow piece down as well. So if you're looking at this layout and you felt like it was just going to be a lot, this is definitely one way to simplify it. Or you can just do one torn edge on each side, and that would work as well too. So I love sketches. They're one of my favorite things to play with, mainly because you can take as much inspiration from it as you want. So you can follow it to the T. You can look at it once and pull one little aspect, or you can turn it and flip it. And there's just so many things to do with sketches. And it's really helpful, especially if you don't have a ton of time to scrapbook sometimes and you're like, okay, I got 20 minutes to sit down, and you can take this sketch, and not saying you can get necessarily a layout done in 20 minutes. Some can, some cannot. And that's okay too, but at least it gives you a start. So this Hip Kit Club kit, I have no idea how these papers go with these embellishments. Like, the embellishments seem very muted, and the papers that I chose seem very like bold. So I decided, okay, that's not going to work. Even the thickers that came with it didn't work for me. So I went in my stash, pulled out another set of thickers, and I put Parade in between both of my photos. And then I just went looking for flowers. And so these are Pink Paisley Horizon flowers. And I'm just going to make 2 clusters on each side of the photo. So they both get just a tiny little cluster to bring that floral out. And I think the florals go really well. So I'll have to remember that with this collection further on, if I need some more florals for it, that the Horizon florals work really well. I don't know which kit this is, so which month. So I'm going to go ahead and put those down. And then in the kit, it also had kind of some epoxy shapes. And I am going to take some of the little hearts, and I'm going to put a heart in each of the floral clusters. And that's really going to do it for my layout today. Super quick, super simple, but I really like how it turned out. And it's not just straight yellow and blue like the school colors, like a lot of the school pictures. So I do have a couple of close-ups here for you. I will have the playlist linked down below as well, so you can see what everybody else is doing with this sketch. And then I did off camera add Homecoming on top of the Parade. And that's it. So remember to wear your crown, and hopefully I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.